All right, everyone. Welcome back. Episode 13 of Stub Luv Live. And we're kind of pumped up tonight because we have a terrific guest on. We have Tom Daley on, TKD Tickets. Let's go live with Tom. I see him on here.
Oh, all right. Hi, Howard.
There he is. Tom Daley, the man, the myth. He's here.
That's right. Number 13, apparently, right?
Number 13. Lucky 13, though. That's what it is. Hey, we got people. There's the shout outs to Tom. Justin Sutterfield. What's up, Tom? We got people in the house watching. So always excited to have people watching live, and we appreciate it. So, Tom, you are a big ticket collector. I'm going to tell a quick story before I introduce, Tom to the questions. So some years ago, before I kind of became in the know about tickets, I saw Tom post the Snowballs at Santa Claus Philadelphia Eagles ticket. There it is. There it is, Tom. He posts this on his Instagram page, and I had never seen one before, and I was like blown away. I'm like, wow, as a Philadelphia fan, I've got to get that ticket. And I reached out to Tom, and I'm like, I didn't know Tom at all. And I'm like, hey, Tom, great ticket. Is that ticket for sale or for trade? And he says, no, it's not.
Nope.
No chance. And then I reached back out to him like 2 weeks later, and I'm like, hey Tom, I'm really interested in that Santa ticket. Is it for sale or is it for trade? Tom?
Nope.
No chance. About a month later, same thing. 2 months later, same thing. Finally, Tom kind of very nicely tells me, I am a ticket collector. This is really rare, and you are clearly a newbie, and stop bothering me because real ticket collectors don't just give their good stuff away like that. So he did it very politely, very nicely, and he educated me, and I learned a lot from that. So that was kind of my foray into Tom Daley.
That's funny. I think this is the ticket that I get asked most about. So it seems like every Philly fan wants this ticket.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty big one, in Philadelphia lore. So Tom, tell us. We talked a little bit today. How did you start getting into ticket collecting?
So I think like most people, when I went to my first game, I saved my first ticket. I pulled it out here. So this was April 22nd, 1975. The Cardinals at Shea Stadium to play the Mets. And I was 9 years old, went with my dad, and, took this ticket, got a program, taped it into the program. There's still some tape marks. I took my dad's too, so I taped one face up, one face down, and kind of that was my journey into saving tickets.
It's really cool, Tom. Cool that you have it. Cool that it, it's still intact, and obviously it must mean a whole heck of a lot to you. I wish I had the first ticket that I used when I went to a ball game with my dad. So that's pretty cool. Other than tickets, do you collect anything else?
So I collect baseball cards. And when I got back into the hobby, I started collecting stadium postcards. So I think I was kind of more into the maybe the moments or kind of about the game with the stadium postcards, and that kind of maybe branched out into the tickets. So, kind of always was not always completely into cards, always looking at other stuff as well.
So you kept that ticket from the game that you went with your dad. Did you collect all your tickets? Did you keep all your tickets to games and concerts and things like that?
I still have them. Yep. So I collected them all, and it's funny, looking back at games I went to, without realizing it. So I went to Reggie White's Eagles debut when they played the Giants. I went to Don Mattingly's first start back in 1982 when, who knew who Don Mattingly was?
Right.
Games like that. I went to the Jeter dive into the stands game. So Sean will
Wow.
like that one.
That's awesome. Wow. That's pretty cool that you've been to those games, and kept the tickets. So kind of like a double blessing, a double positive. What was the first ticket that you actually went out and bought and added to your collection, kind of like as a collector of tickets, not just something that you picked up from a concert or from a ball game?
So interesting story. So back when I was in high school, so I was still collecting, and in 1984, I went to a local auction in my hometown, and the last lot in the auction was a 1954 World Series program and game ticket. And I stayed to the end. I bid $20 in that auction. Nobody else bid against me. And unfortunately, it was game two, not game one. But that was the first ticket that I bought. And I still have that one too. So that one's upstairs. So
Wow.
that one went off to PSA, decades later. But yeah, I've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah, sounds like it. So, what's your definition, Tom, of a rare ticket? I've heard a lot of different definitions, but to an old school OG ticket collector like you, what's your definition of a rare ticket?
So, I think of rare as being tickets that exist but you don't see. So tickets that are out there. I like the pop one or the low pop tickets. So to me, something that is less than 10 is rare, and to me, something that is less than 5 is really something fun to have.
Yeah, it's just kind of funny that we talk about tickets, and you're talking about like a 10, and that's rare. Maybe 20's not so rare, 30's not really rare, and just how few of them there are in relationship to other collectibles, other sports collectibles like cards, where there's thousands upon thousands, and people think that potentially those are rare.
And I think rare doesn't necessarily mean expensive either. So one of the things I'm doing is I'm trying to build a collection of uh, Hank Aaron home run tickets, one ticket for each ballpark you get a home run in. And man, those American League ballparks, they're tough to find. So they may not be expensive, but in my mind, they're pretty rare.
Well, we'll leave it out there. Tom's looking for those, so if anyone's watching and you can help Tom out, certainly do that. How long have you been trying to put that run together?
So that's been maybe I don't know, 6 months or so. So when I finished the Don Mattingly 8-game home run streak, then I started on working on Hank Aaron.
Yeah, the Mattingly 8-game home run streaks are pretty cool, and I saw you populate those on Instagram, and that was a great display. So, hobby wide, you've been doing this a long time. What do you think's the most overrated ticket in ticket collecting?
So I knew that question was going to come, and um, I kind of hate talking about other people's tickets that they may love, but one thing that I've never really developed a passion for was wrestling tickets, and I don't want to say they're overrated, but they're just not something that comes into my world of ticket collecting. So to me, that's one that I don't really look for, and I don't think I understand kind of all the nuance behind it.
Yeah, I saw Mike Violi's watching a little bit here, and he's a big wrestling guy, so I'm sure you. I hope, Mike, that you don't just turn off because Tom crapped on wrestling tickets. I actually think they're cool.
That's what makes
I
collecting fun. Everybody can have their thing.
yeah, no, I agree. What about underrated? An underrated ticket, most underrated ticket, Tom.
So to me, I think the 1955 Jackie Robinson Steals Home ticket is an underrated ticket. So I mean, I look at that ticket. I look at the highlight whenever you see a highlight of Jackie Robinson on TV. 9 times out of 10 it's going to be that play. It's got Jackie. It's got Yogi. It should be right up there with the Willie Mays catch. I think it's one of those memorable moments in World Series history. Jackie Robinson is, loved by baseball collectors, by fans. People that aren't collectors know Jackie Robinson. So that's the one I think is
It's a
underrated.
great answer, Tom. I ask a lot of collectors that come on, and I talk to other collectors about that too. And I've heard that answer before, but you put it very eloquently. Plus, the ticket is artwork. I mean, that 1955 Game 1 ticket is just such a gorgeous ticket. I mean, and if you can find it in a full version, I mean, you just don't even want to touch it because it's almost just so perfect.
It's
Yeah.
amazing.
What's your luckiest ticket find, Tom? Like, what have you searching through a shoebox or someone's junk and you found a little nugget of gold?
So, I mean, I hate to say it, but it's probably back to the Eagle Santa ticket. This one I got on eBay for maybe 10 or 15 bucks. Back when nobody was really looking for this or collecting tickets. So this was a find that just kind of searching around one day and came across it. Before I bought this one, I saw a full ticket that I put a bid in of maybe 25 bucks, and that I got outbid for that one, but I found this one, and this is what I think of kind of finding a diamond in the rough.
Yeah, that's a great find. So Tom, show us some more tickets. I know you got a ton of stuff, and you were going to bring some stuff on. So why don't you do a little show and tell with us?
So yeah, it's kind of fun. You put me as the big Yankee guy, so I thought I would show these tickets. So this was the 1927 World Series ticket run that I put together. So it started out with this one, Game 1. I bought this in an auction raw and sent it in and got it graded. And then over the years, one by one, I found them. So Game 2 in Pittsburgh, and I don't know how familiar you are with these, but in Pittsburgh there was kind of a bleacher ticket that was a little thinner than this one, didn't have the section on it. So I think these are kind of the nicer ones to have. And then finally the 2 Babe Ruth home run tickets. So
yeah, those are awesome. And it's Murderer's Row, and it's the Yankees at their best. It's a great run.
yeah,
That's awesome.
Best team in baseball, right?
Yeah. Well, supposedly so. Yeah, the best team ever. So those are great run.
So that was a fun one. And then I don't know if it was a diamond in the rough, but back when I was really getting into tickets, 10 or 15 years ago, I was still, there were 2 tickets I kind of had my eyes on. So one was the Jackie debut, and one was the first game at Yankee Stadium back in 1923.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of got priced out of the Jackie debuts, even though they were only maybe 10 to 15 grand back then. But this one kind of caught my eye. So this one is Jackie's minor league debut, so 1946 with Montreal in Jersey City.
Wow.
And this kind of pushed all the buttons for me. So Jackie Robinson, and I'm a Jersey guy, and this game was in Jersey, so that was a cool thing. And I didn't even know it at the time, but it was hardly mentioned, but it came with this letter. And this is a letter from the mayor of Jersey City, and he gifted this ticket to, I'm assuming it's a returning veteran, back from World War II, because he mentions now that the American way of life has been sustained and preserved by a glorious victory. And he invited this person to the game. Apparently couldn't make it, but it's kind of interesting because he says that he expects a record crowd. And the mayor of Jersey City, he was famous for opening day being his favorite day of the year. He gave all the city employees opening day off as long as they went to the baseball game.
Wow, that's awesome. I see a lot of comments here. People are going crazy over this one. So just curious, Tom, I mean, value-wise, what do you think that one's worth at an auction?
So, I've gotten offers. I bought it through Heritage. I've gotten offers there. And, sometimes you see them just keep going up and up and up. I would guess at auction probably be between 25 and 50,000. And that's my guess.
Yeah.
What do you think?
That's an awesome ticket. Yeah, that's one you don't see all the time, Tom. So good for you. Wow, great piece to your collection. I don't know know that you can show anything else, Tom, that tops that. I mean, I'm blown away. That's amazing.
Well, I got one other Jackie Robinson ticket that I thought was pretty cool. So this is my pop one here. So this is when the Dodgers scheduled a game against the Atlanta Crackers in Atlanta, and Branch Rickey sent Jackie and the team. So this was the first integrated baseball game in Atlanta. On the flip, it says first integrated sporting event. So there was a lot of protesting by the KKK over this. Branch Rickey said, "You can't tell me who I'm sending to play my baseball game." And the fans turned out like crazy. So they had an overflow crowd. And, this, I don't know if you can see it, but it's April 8th on here.
Yep.
And so that was 25 years later to the day, Hank Aaron broke Babe Ruth's home run record in Atlanta. And, I like to think that there must have been people at this game that were at that game in Atlanta when Hank broke that record. And who would have thought, sitting in the stands for this game that would have happened. So this kind of gives me chills when I look at this one. I think this is a historic ticket.
Gives me chills too, Tom. I got to say, those are two amazing tickets. And, the tickets themselves are one thing, but the stories and the history and the significance that goes along with that just means so much. Thank you for sharing those. Those are terrific. Wow. I'm really blown away. Yeah. And even Justin says, against the Crackers, which, I mean, look, that goes with the story too. So, just an amazing ticket. What do you think, Tom? I mean, if you threw that one in an auction, what do you think that goes for?
This one, I couldn't even guess. So, I don't know, maybe 10K. I don't know, something like that. So, but I think, again, I'm a collector, so I don't really part with things. So
I know.
To me, it's, it's about having it, not what it's worth.
Yep. Understood. And it's funny, people are saying, your estimates are low. They're saying higher. And I tend to agree with them. I actually believe that Jackie Robinson tickets themselves, and Sean Daugherty, don't scream at me for saying this. I'm not just talking about 47 Dodgers tickets. I'm just talking in general. I still think they're undervalued. I still don't believe that collectors, especially ticket collectors, have really done what they should with the Jackie tickets. I think there's a lot of room to go in some of the Jackie tickets, especially the rarer ones. So you've got some great ones. What do you think was you talked a little bit about the fact that you had an opportunity to pick up a Jackie debut. Do you think that would be your biggest missed ticket opportunity or something else?
So I think, between those two, between the Jackie debut and the Yankee Stadium, and the Yankee Stadium first game in 1923, that ticket used to come up for auction, it seemed, maybe once or twice a year, between Heritage and REA. And then all of a sudden they disappeared, and it probably went, 6-7 years without one showing up at auction. And then, by that time they went through the roof. I think one went up for auction last year, and, it did really well. So, that might be, those are the two that I think back on. And I don't know if you've gone back in Heritage, but if you look back on old listings, you can actually see the listings you bid on. So I can see the things that I put bids on and didn't win, and see what they sold for, and think to myself, yeah, that's one I'd like to have back.
Yeah, I haven't done that. I didn't know that actually existed, but I do go back, and once in a while I'll look at closed sales, and I see stuff that sold for pennies relative to what it's worth today, and lots of listings that you could have had for basically nothing 5-10 years ago. So I do look at that. If I looked at what I missed on, I don't know, it would probably pain me too much. I don't want to do that, Tom. Yeah, and even Justin saying, the 1923 House That Ruth Built ticket's a top 10 ticket of all time. And I don't like to agree with Justin Sutterfield all the time because he gets a big head.
Listen to Justin.
but I kind of think he's right on that one. Yeah, I think he's right. So talk to me a little bit about some Grail tickets that you're still looking for, without giving away too much so people start chasing them too. But are there a few tickets out there that you'd like to add to that great collection that you have?
I really haven't started a big project yet again. So I kind of collect in a couple different areas. So one is the Yankees tickets. One that we've talked about is kind of civil rights tickets and things that are involved there. So the Jackie Robinson tickets kind of fit in there. There are other tickets around integrating college football and things like that I think are amazing. I did pick up the Black Power salute at the end of last year, so that's kind of something that's on my radar. The presidential first pitch tickets is another thing I kind of keep my eye out for. But then New Jersey tickets. So I'm always on the lookout for New Jersey tickets. So maybe something that would be a grail would be. I want to find a Negro League ticket from a game in New Jersey, and even better if it's the 1946 World Series, that the Newark Eagles won. So that would be pretty amazing.
So socially historical, Negro League, and then maybe some rare New York Yankees tickets that you haven't acquired.
Yeah, and then honestly, I'm all over the place. So I like to just things that I find interesting. I work to get them.
Any recent pickups? Anything that's like hot and exciting because it's new to Tom Daley?
So let's see. So I did pick up the Thurman Munson debut.
Yep.
So
The great one.
This was a big one. So this was one that I was really excited about. And then I did pick up these two new tickets to the Hank Aaron home run collection. So one at the Coliseum and one at Seal Stadium in San Francisco. So those were fun tickets. And then this was one I picked up late last year. So this was the Bill Bradley debut ticket, and this is one that I kind of enjoy because you look at the back. Yes, our debuts moments, and here the fan wrote right on the back, Bill Bradley debut. And I know we talked about this earlier, but his documentary, his one-man show, is on HBO, and he talks about this game. So a little bit of his history. He was the best player in college basketball, and then he went off to Europe as a Rhodes Scholar, and then he spent 6 months in the military reserve. So he went a couple of years without playing, and he came back, and it was a big deal. And he mentions how in pregame warmups, every time he got the ball, there would be this loud ovation for him, and it really made an impression on him. So, and I posted this on Instagram and tagged him on it and got a like for him. So I thought that was pretty cool too.
I thought it was pretty cool as well. Probably one of the cooler things I've seen when it comes to ticket collecting. So good for you, Tom. So let's jump into the gauntlet. We've been going for about 23 minutes, so I want to do the gauntlet with you, Tom.
I'm a little nervous about the gauntlet here.
No nerves. It'll be easy. We'll help you through it. I promise you. So we'll start out with the the common customary way we do it. Stub or full?
I like my stubs. I one, they're cheaper, but and two, they were at the game, but if there's a backstory like my Jackie debut ticket, I think that kind of takes the cake. So
I agree.
That's I don't know how to decide that one, but I do collect more stubs than anything else.
PSA, Beckett, or no slab at all?
I like the PSA slabs, but things have gotten so expensive that I haven't sent in an order in a long time because it's so expensive now. So I really got to kind of look through and see what I want to spend the money on. But I like the slabs, and I like the descriptions that come on the flip. So
well, I like their slabs too, better than Beckett's for sure. Signed tickets or unsigned tickets?
So I've got a few signed tickets. So I've got some Yankee signed tickets that that I like, but it's not a focus of my hobby. So I'll say unsigned tickets.
Debuts or moments?
So I was looking through my collection. I would say I'm a moments kind of person, but I'm probably maybe 60-40. I do have some debuts, and then I also think there's another category that we don't talk about. The kind of the historical tickets that aren't debuts or moments. So, like, here's an example. So, a 1924 Negro League ticket. So this was on July 4th. We're coming up on the 100th anniversary. So a Hilldale ticket. So to me, tickets like this, they don't fit into either memorable moments or debuts, but I think there's another category of historical tickets that I really enjoy.
I think we're gonna call it just cool shit. Like debuts, moments, cool shit, and that's very cool what you just showed. So I'm jealous of that. PSA 10 ticket or a PSA Pop 1 ticket?
Oh, I'll take my Pop 1s.
Yeah. Yeah, I think pretty much across the board, that's always going to be the answer. Better Yankee, Joe DiMaggio or Mickey Mantle?
Oh, that's a good question. So I'd say Mickey Mantle.
Yeah, I think Joe had, the Marilyn Monroe thing, and Joe played in a little bit of a different era, but I think so many people idolized Mickey Mantle growing up that it's kind of got to be Mickey Mantle, and barring those injuries, who knows what kind of numbers Mickey would have put up. Better ticket, Tom, the Ruth Called Shot ticket or Gehrig's Luckiest Man ticket?
I would say the Luckiest Man ticket.
Is that just because of the moment in sports, or are you saying that because of the fact that the Luckiest Man ticket's just so much rarer, or both?
So I mean, I like the history behind the Luckiest Man speech, and again, that's a speech that non-collectors are familiar with, and to me, it really kind of hits home with what he said there. So to me, it's kind of got everything.
Better New York moment ticket, the Piazza home run after 9/11 or the George Bush famous World Series first pitch?
Oh, I got to go with the George Bush, first pitch, and you and I were talking about it earlier today, and you told me, before I came on, don't bounce it. So,
and you haven't yet. You haven't yet, Tom. You're doing well. All right, so here's the pressure cooker, Tom, to end the gauntlet. Let's go. Ready? Here we go. Here we go. There are 22 retired Yankees jersey numbers. Okay. I want to see if you can get all 22. Let's start from the first number and let's work our way up. So start with, I'll give you one. Number 1 is retired. Start there and tell me who it is.
Oh, that's tough because they added a bunch of them last year. So I think if I remember, number 1 was Billy Martin.
1's Billy Martin.
2 is Derek Jeter.
2's Derek Jeter.
3 is Babe Ruth.
3's Babe Ruth.
4 Lou Gehrig.
4 Lou Gehrig.
5 Joe DiMaggio.
Joe DiMaggio.
And let's see, 6, I think that's Joe Torre.
That's Joe Torre. 7, easy.
7 Mickey.
8
is Bill Dickey and Yogi Berra.
And you got them both. Wow.
So
okay.
I'm repping Yogi tonight here.
I see it.
So let's see, number 9 is Roger Maris.
It is.
Number 10 is Phil Rizzuto.
Is you're up next,
and I think we start to get to the skip numbers.
You do.
So I think 16 is Whitey Ford. Is that right?
You got one before Whitey. It's the
15 is Yogi Berra.
No.
He's Thurman Munson.
Thurman Munson. You got Whitey Ford at 16. Now you got to go a little. These get a little tricky here.
Let's see. Is it 21? Is that Paul O'Neill?
21, but also number 20.
Number 20, Posada.
Posada. You got O'Neill at 21. Your man's coming up next.
And then Don Mattingly. 24.
We got 23. We got a couple breaks here. And then,
yeah, you're right. I missed that one.
No, you got 23. You got Mattingly.
And then let's see. Here's where I start to get a little fuzzy.
So 32.
32, Elston Howard.
There you go. 37.
37 is Casey Stengel.
42.
42. So that's. I think
he's a closer.
You stumped me on that one. So Mariano.
Piano and Jackie Robinson. We'll
Oh,
include
that's
that
right.
one.
Yep.
44.
44 is Reggie, and then 49.
49 is Guidry. You missed one in
Guidry.
between. 46.
46 is Andy
And
Pettit.
we got one more. 51.
51, Bernie Williams.
And you did not bounce it at all, Tom. You did great. You did great. You did great. I appreciate you running the gauntlet with me. Tom Daley, you were a great guest. Thank you for being on Stub Luv Live. You were terrific. OG, you showed some great stuff. Man, I'm in awe of what you got. I really am.
Thanks, Howard. I appreciate you having me on here. This was a lot of fun.
Thanks for being on again, Tom. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks.
All right. Have a good night.
Bye-bye.